It's now time for the elimination final. Seattle, wake up, make some noise because it's about to go down here in Washington. And you got yourself a clash between two prolific organizations, not just in Halo, but in esports as a whole. Optic Gaming going up against FaZe Clan, and the winner will move on to face SSG in the finals here at the Halo World Championship 2024. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Golden Boy alongside Walshy. We're gonna call this action. It's gonna be a good time. It seems like we're jumping right into this, dude.
I love to hear that. Getting right in the game, looking like we're kicking off with Aquarius CTF. And this is one that both teams are going to welcome to start off with because they get to test each other over the course of 12 minutes. Aquarius doesn't end as fast.
Yeah.
You get a chance to really see who's on fire, who they need to back off on, and how well things are going. Let's kick it off with this man who was on fire last game. It's Frosty.
Let's see what FaZe can do here, and of course, let's see how Optic tries to right the wrongs from that last winter bracket final game. And FaZe Clan certainly learning how to dig deep in the moments where it matters most in that series against Pure, which you said might have been one of the best series you've ever watched in a while.
Undoubtedly, yeah, one of the best series of the year, and you know, just those games, they went down to the wire. When you think about that 50 to 248 on Recharge, when you think about that end on Slayer Streets, but let's focus right now here on Renegade with this overshield as he's trying to get some kills, and it's actually slowed down quite a bit already.
Yeah,
I expected it to play a little slower pace, but not this slow. You're not seeing that many shots across the map.
It seems like Renegade wants to be a little sneaky. He knows that there are going to be a few players that are going to be located around him here. Not able to handle him. He takes out Normal in a massive fight, and he's still going to be playing his life, but Deadzone had to eliminate him instantly.
I've seen so many nade charges this event compared to many others in the past where players are not afraid to just sprint past an exploding frag or plasma grenade to get that element of surprise. You saw also that Halo 5 movement expertise out of Renegade. He went towards the left, thrusted straight towards Formal just to finish off that kill. It was so impressive.
Yeah, his understanding of his Spartan's movement capabilities certainly something that we've constantly praised him. All these players, to be completely honest with you, have just been unbelievable. Especially considering those H5 days, the spring jumps and all the wild stuff that you could do back then. These guys were certainly at the forefront there, but now it's an attempted flag pull here for Optic Gaming, but he's not going to get that far, Deadzone.
But flag has been stopped and slowed down, and that's exactly what FaZe wanted or needed. Now you're seeing Optic slow down as well. They realized if flag did not continue to move, they have to get one more round of kills before they can carefully move that across the map. But there's going to be SnakeBite with kill on the board and the recovery.
Yeah. Optic's just gonna have to accept this one. Formal, though, weak in the back of the FaZe base as he tries to make a play, maybe throw that flag down, throw a distraction, and he does so, but he's picked off instantly there. You can see that top mid control, and Overshield's actually gonna get grabbed by Optic. Let's see what they can do with this.
Yeah, this is gonna be OS now in hands of Optic. Also looking at the kills, you'd almost think that Optic got both OSs, but as we saw that first one go in the hands of Renegade, however, most of these members on FaZe, specifically Royal 2 and Frosty, get shut down early on here. When you're in a position like this for FaZe, they just need to get some kills slowed down. They're not in a spot right now where FaZe is worried about getting capped. Right now, FaZe, in this state of the game, want to avoid getting capped on.
Yeah, because as it stands here with the way that Optic Gaming's playing, the Slaves are looking good. FaZe have been struggling to, and most notably Frosty's been struggling to get into it the early parts of this game here. But he has been contributing shots where deems necessary, but it seems like Optic have a really good setup here to try and pressure FaZe, put them in the back of the base, get these slays, and then start to make this pull happen. Look for TriPPPeY. He's going to be the one that kind of opens things up here as Deadzone goes in for the support.
And look at how timid FaZe are right now. They are just crouching in the back of their base. They realize all this pressure's coming in, and their goal is to kill this one or two players on the flag. They're about to get this flag. I like that route from Deadzone. Fakes like he's going to run towards bottom util, potentially drawn out a grenade, and then goes back towards the bridge.
Is anyone there in the vicinity to be able to stop him? Deadzone's taking shots from behind. He made his way over to yellow utility. He's right there. He sees it in his sights. This could be the first one, but he's gonna have to bail on it for the time being. Frosty gets his first kill, and what a first kill to get as he manages to stop the flag carrier from being able to lock in that first one. Lucid's got eyes on him, and he's gonna go down low, and look at this player here. That's gonna be a gimme. Looking for another one. Can they get the recov? No, instead they're gonna get the flag, and Optic Gaming are gonna put the first one on the board here, but they gotta return their flag first. Mission accomplished. Optic put one down.
So well done there by Lucid, realizing that he bought enough time by backing down Renegade into the utility. After that, just repositioning towards bottom center, knowing that somebody, anyone from FaZe, they're gonna fly over and try to be a factor on this flag cap. The only option they have is bottom car, bottom pink, or bottom center.
Well, now we'll see what Renegade can do with this overshield now as he's gained possession of it. Formal, though, wise to it. Great nade placement's gonna just eliminate the presence of the overshield here toward yellow utility. Watch out, though, for those players pushing toward the right side of the map, though, looking to assist Renegade. And he's waiting for these openings here. Now that he has a teammate to work with, and Frosty gets that pick, this could very well be the opportunity they need.
And Renegade has two options here. One is clear out these players in the back of the base and get the kills. Second option is if he can sneak a flag grab out, it looks like they go for option B. You see Frosty just toss that flag out. Now those players in the back of the base of Optic's base are no factor. They actually want to push out towards Util or Fridge, and look at this. They can't do much. They have to go towards Plat, and they're just getting killed one by one. There goes the third player, and that's gonna be 3 down. TriPPPeY, the only one alive.
Yeah, and he might not be long for this world here as SnakeBite manages to get him, and that is going to let that flag continue to move on forward here. SnakeBite's got eyes on the players that are spawning toward the Fridge. They want to get that first flag on the board. It would be massive for them, but Formal with the double kill stops FaZe right in their tracks.
And I'm actually surprised this flag was not moving a bit quicker. You saw so much control on the map. You saw that FaZe had the flag out. They knew the players in the back of the base, and it felt like they opted just to secure those kills rather than moving that flag a little bit faster. But still, flag moving all the way across. Renegade gonna put this first one in, and that's gonna be a cap here for FaZe Clan.
Good insta to try and just make sure no one pressures over toward that blue util. FaZe put one on the board. We're all tied up here 1-1. I expect nothing different from these two teams, man. They've met against each other time and time again. Prolific names in Halo esports. They're vying for an opportunity to have their name etched in history here at the Halo World Championship 2024, but in their ways, one another, and in the horizon, it's going to be SSG. An incredible tournament has been here for, honestly, all three of these teams. They've been playing some excellent Halo. Renegade's been great so far. He's trying to really get in the face here of Optic, and they only have one alive right now, Dan.
And Renegade already did his job. Just getting that one kill and staying alive. He's doing above and beyond here, pushing all the way to Util and getting this recovery. Now it's going to be Renegade and Royal 2 pushing in from Util to the flag. But it's going to be the same problem as before. Optic has such a strong defense in the back of the base that they're going to need bigger numbers in order to clear these players out, or they got to get the flag toss over to the courtyard. Let's see which one they opt for.
Well, that big kill on the left side actually opened things up. Renegade goes in there for a couple of shots, and he manages to connect with them. World 2 actually is going to find no one's in the base. So, hey, I'll go ahead and grab this flag. He brings it right across. You see where those spawns are starting to come out there, and where that shot connected with World 2 to the right side. So he's going to need to play this one smart, and he moves bottom mid to cut things off in case things get dicey.
I also wonder about that pause in the flag run, but it looks like they still have enough control across the map. Optic not pushing up to take advantage of that. In fact, Optic still just getting outslayed.
Yeah.
There's a chance here that FaZe pull a third flag.
Could very well happen. You see SnakeBite in that base. He's getting a lot of kills, and World 2's got the spawners here as well. So Formal and TriPPPeY are going to be very weak. World 2, I'm sure he would love to have some grenades here, but it's not going to be available to him at that moment in time.
But he's did his job already, backing down 2 players in a 2 versus 1 over towards the Fridge. And it looks like he's going to charge in for the finishes. There's one, no 2, double kill for Royal 2.
You don't need no grenades for that. He's going there to do it the old-fashioned way. Big fight for Frosty in the middle to continue to stay alive. Flag gets returned, as you just heard. As we take stock of where things are, you know, go back to what the analyst was talking about earlier, what Tony and Wes were discussing about how FaZe are definitely going to need to kind of stake their flag in this game 1 Aquarius CTF matchup. No pun intended, kind of. But it seems like it's working out so far for them, but they only have that 1 flag lead, and Optic could very well come back into this one. Plenty of time.
Also, Wes talked about the objective efficiency. Right now, FaZe aren't heavily outslaying. They're up by a couple kills throughout the course of this game. Think about how heavily they're getting outslayed early parts, and they stopped all those flag attempts from Optic. Optic were only able to get 1 flag cap during their outslaying spree, whereas FaZe have been able to capitalize and get 2 flag caps during their outslays.
Well, now Frosty is going to be happy with this overshield grab. He's also got himself the thruster too, so he'll look to break some ankles in a few of these fights, maybe even make some space in case he's got to chase a kill down. And they're doing the work here. You got one player that's going to be sitting inside of that Optic base, making that flagpole happen. There goes TriPPPeY trying to beat the nade there, but he can't stay alive long enough. Does get the trade, though.
Huge trade by TriPPPeY, to be honest. TriPPPeY is happy to trade there against somebody who has some OS, someone who's thruster, someone's already at your base. Even if it's just a 1-to-1 battle, and you are a fresh spawner versus their full shield person, trading out works out in your favor. They're going to spawn way back further, and you just want to stop the closest threat to the flag grab.
Just saw the number 1 and number 2 KD players face off against one another there, but the number 1 came out on top that time around. Lucid, great patience to try and continue to march this one forward. start to get inside of the FaZe base and actually make this flagpole reality happen. You got a few players down here for FaZe, and Lucid and the company are going to be going real fast here, Dave.
I like this play. Just don't even hesitate. That player in the back of the base is not going to be a factor here. Now it's up to the rest of Optic to hold them off and get a couple slays. One thing that's sometimes risky is running across that bridge, but the fact that FaZe haven't pushed across the top center means it is safe and secure. That's going to be the tying flag cap going in for Lucid and Optic.
And they got 3 down here for FaZe too, so SnakeBite having to deal with a few members of Optic Gaming right in front of him. Lucid's going to make short work of him as he was just peeled down a little bit of his shields in that fight. But they're going to start to continue to march this one forward here, Dave. Feeling the momentum for Optic Gaming. FaZe now on the back foot, having to play defense. Big win here for Renegade to clear this player out of blue util. That's going to be 2 players down for Optic Gaming, and this is now an opportunity for FaZe to respond.
And if you look at how FaZe have pushed into the flag almost every single time, it's generally been 1 to 2 players pushing across that util bridge. Was that flag already snagged there by Royal 2? That is such a fast pickup. And right here, you have the biggest distraction in the world, a Renegade with OS. Even though he got melted there, he was buying so much time and so much attention. You would have hoped and expected to see that flag move a little bit further, but we did not see what was going on the util side at that same time.
I tell you what, with the amount of shots that Renegade was taking there, I thought your boy was renting for like Reinhardt from Overwatch. Like that, with how many shots he was taking, my guy was tanking everything in that instance. But Optic really want to get this flag back, and they have a body on it, so they should be cleared to do so. You can see where FaZe are going to be positioned off of those spawns now. Lucid and the rest of Optic looking to take this map control, but the trade in the battle, and that is going to lead to 1 down on each side. Things slow down for a second.
Yeah, what play does Frosty make here? He's able to spot out 1 at the bottom of the pink. His teammate Renegade didn't get that pick off, but still seems like overloading util side has been the play. He must have heard those steps from underneath as TriPPPeY pushes on in and somehow gets a double kill, doesn't get picked off.
Massive.
TriPPPeY has to decide between waiting for his shields back or tossing his flag bomb center, and Renegade comes back to take out the threat in his base, but now FaZe stuck at their flag for a short bit, but Renegade just killing everyone and everything around him.
He ended up running into a hiding player. But if I can for a minute, I do want to give some love to TriPPPeY because his defense has been unreal. He's had some great moments. He's had some good stops, and he's actually contributed to Optic being able to get this flagpole right here, Dan.
And also look at the death screens you saw. Royal 2 and Frosty were dead as that flag was pulled. So this is up to Renegade and SnakeBite to get a stop here. You see Renegade over towards bomb center. You see SnakeBite not close enough here. He's gonna try to get some shots from bridge side, but it's not gonna be enough. 15 seconds left. FaZe not only need to get kills, they need to get a flagpole and start to move it across the map.
This is where you start to see where that objective efficiency comes into play here. But SnakeBite's going to grab the flag, and he brings it across. You only got a couple seconds to work with here. We're going to go into overtime because the flag is going to be away. SnakeBite, he's right there, and he ties this one up, and we're going to go to that last flag being the one to determine it all. SnakeBite brings it in with his teammate Renegade, and that is going to be the cap. Well done, and we're all tied up going into OT.
Next cap wins. They're both spawning at their bases. Let's see who's able to kick it off here just right. Last time, when we start off here on a career CTF, you saw Renegade get that very first overshield. Who's going to come out ahead of that is going to be very telling about who's going to get this first flag cap and only flag cap.
Well, Renegade got it again. So maybe he can do what they did last time. They found a lot of success with this overshield play here, but he's going to get right into the business of Optic Gaming. TriPPPeY, he's been great on the defense. He backs away. He's got some help there. Manages to find 1. That's going to be a perfect. Looking for the next one, a double kill. Renegade having to back away, but he still manages to get the trade out.
The damage has been done. He's setting up FaZe perfectly to get in position to get that flagpole. One thing I loved that was so beautiful about when he was at the back of the base there, he wasn't afraid to just back down and fight a new full shield person. He also didn't overcommit and just round the corner and go trade with the one-shot person. He realized that as long as he still had full shields a little bit more, he can isolate any 1v1 and take that fight.
Intelligent plays, micro decisions from some of the best in the world. Frosty can't win that battle against Deadzone, but he's got some coverage there courtesy of World 2. See across the field. A lot of players just falling here off the respawn screen. And things slow down again.
Like that play, Lucid tries to reposition towards bottom car. In a situation like that towards util, he would have stayed util if he had grenades to punish anyone coming across from bridge, but the fact that he didn't have grenades meant that he had to back down and regroup with his teammates. Draws a couple players towards car, and there go 3 down for FaZe. SnakeBite on the defense, trying to guard his flag.
Playing this one out. Deadzone's on the prowl. You also have TriPPPeY right behind. The calls are starting to come in. Shades of what Optic had been doing to FaZe this entire time, turtling inside of the base, just waiting it out.
And look at this target switching here. You see SnakeBite, even though he's aware that they're about to push in towards his flag, any moment he's looking in and zooming towards top center. That way he can lay down shots and get that suppression fire out of the way. But here it is, just back of the flag, 1v1 fight. This could determine if his flag goes out of his base or if his team is safe.
We gotta say though, the way that SnakeBite has been patrolling this, and they get that overshield. Wait a minute.
So well done there by Optic.
Yeah.
They put on that pressure, make it seem like they're gonna go in for the early flag, and that entire time, SnakeBite stayed in the back of his own flag. And during that time, Optic bought time, grabbed the OS, and now they're going in for the actual flag grab they want. That's 3 down. Renegade, the only one that can stop that stuff.
Oh, boy.
Nobody's gonna be able to stop this flag. SnakeBite is gonna have to throw some Hail Mary grenades and say some prayers to get a stop on this one.
It was all part of the plan for Optic Gaming. They lock it in, and that is gonna be the capture. Optic take game 1 here in the elimination final.
What a insane back and forth there between those two teams. Watching that beautiful game of chess, especially at the end.
That was cool. I'm glad you pointed that out because
There's also that just that pressure too from TriPPPeY. TriPPPeY still would dip in over towards that utility bridge, lay a couple shots. He's like, oh, okay, I can't leave my base. They're clearly going to be pushing for this,
Exactly.
for this OS, but for the flag. But that whole time, the strategy for Optic was delay, buy that 15 seconds, get the OS, and then go in for the flag grab.
that was very, very well done. FaZe gonna get caught looking on that one. Go back and check the VOD, see how that one played out. But Optic Gaming brilliantly played in the overtime. What a back and forth way to go here for the elimination final. You could not ask for a better way to start things off, Dave, than for these two teams. World champions in their own right, who are here trying to, run it back, get another world championship under their belt. And we go into an overtime in game 1. I think we're gonna be here for a while if it keeps going like this, bro.
Yeah, with how evenly matched these teams are. I mean, also with how strategic and slow paced that first one was. We will see that from time to time, but when we get to like game 3, Solitude Strongholds, it's just gonna be people zooming across the map.
But, to reflect on what the desk was talking about earlier, right? They were discussing what are going to be those win conditions for FaZe Clan. Where do they find that success? And it was noted that this particular game mode, this game, Map 1 Aquarius CTF one, was a pretty big game for FaZe. If they had been able to pick up this one, then you go comfortably into Recharge Slayer, where you're currently sitting for the Slayer game mode. Actually, for Recharge Slayer, specifically 8-0. So you're quite comfortable if you're a FaZe Clan going into this, but boy, oh boy, you would have liked game 1.
I also love the fact that someone is showing their sign, someone else is showing us their burrito. It's like, all right.
What happened?
When that person showed the brick by brick sign, the other person next to him was just showing us their burrito. All right, sweet.
Wait, was there someone just showing us a burrito?
Yeah, someone showing us a burrito out there. But let's take a quick look here at this Slayer status from
Just signed a burrito.
players. Deadzone, someone who was critiqued before about maybe not putting up the biggest numbers.
Yeah.
He previously was an SSG, leading here for his squad at Halo World Championships when they need it the most. On the stage right now, we have 7 world champions. Deadzone left.
Yeah.
Still needs to get that world championship.
That's wild, man.
Could be that event. This could be, but like I said, 3 or 4 world champions. Dreams are dying here in this series.
And you're smiling, too. I think it's great. Like, no one can see you, but you're smiling.
It's wild to think of that we have so many top players here in Halo. These last few squads.
No. I agree.
Everyone can win. That's the nature of competition.
I agree. It's been an incredible tournament, undoubtedly, here in Seattle, Washington.
Lucid signs. There was that one. My dreams are of Lucid, and then my dreams are Lucid, and then Tommy Wilson.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it. Fandom's picking up over here, folks. All right. Let's see what ends up happening here. Remember, as I noted, 8-0 record for FaZe Clan on this map in game mode, specifically. On the other side, for Optic Gaming, I can tell you right now, it ain't 8-0. So it's good, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it ain't 8-0. And that just goes to show that whatever's working for FaZe Clan on this map, it has been cooking here in Seattle.
All right, let's see what teams are doing off the start here. Nobody diving in instantly for camo. Sometimes you see a quick rush for it. And there's going to be a trade of melees, but that's just going to be Renegade walking away with a sliver of health. And Frosty walking away with camo. Now he's got pretty much one big push with this. as we've seen, the game slows down enough that you don't get multiple visions with Camo at this point. And he backs out. He knows there's a player one shot in there, but he does not want to go 1-for-1 with his Camo.
He's got to be careful. Oh, look at that, pre-firing the ledge with green gun. And if you're getting shot with plasma,
What the heck?
That was crazy.
Feels like
no
the Camo
entrance.
should be an advantage, but these players are getting hunted down here in Seattle with this Camo. Both Seattle and Salt Lake City. Camos
Smart too.
have been a danger, an endangered species out here on the Halo maps of Recharge.
I was going to say, though, it's really smart for him to grab the plasma pistol in that one. High rate of fire. So you can just continuously throw shots out. And on top of that, it does a decent amount of damage to the shields because it's plasma. So that was all overall just a really smart way to shut down that Camo play. But here's the thing, though, Dave. While all that's been going on, FaZe still continue to maintain this lead. They have 3 up presently. And hey, if you're Optic Gaming, where are those gaps going to be present? Because look at how FaZe are spread across the map.
Based on this timing, we're going to see this one go to the time limit, the way these teams are playing it. Also, only 3 shots left here. Renegade shock rifle. Let's see how he decides to play this one. Looks like he just wants to reposition. He hears the push come in over towards elevator side and wants to have nothing to do with that. He doesn't want to put himself in a position, even though these players are skilled enough that they can hit those no-scopes, they can hit those close shots. They do that when necessary. They do that when they feel like they have to take up more ground, when they have a higher risk versus reward benefit. But they're not just doing that
So good.
just for the sake of getting a random kill.
That was so good. Well played there by Renegade. He saw that player dip down from Whirlpool. He had the help, and now they got this camouflage again. I gotta say, the way that they play for the utility, the power items, very impressive. Seems like they took a page out of Optic's book from that first game there, if you know what I mean.
Renegade going on a killing spree, make that a double kill to close that one out. 3-kill lead here when they had shock rifle on their side. Now, who is going to get control of pipes and this next shock rifle is going to be the real question. Seems like it's going to be hotly contested. Formal kind of sandwiched here. I expect Formal to die in the kill feed there. Yes, he does. He falls in a trade against Renegade. So that means FaZe are going to have control of pipes and more likely to get this next shock rifle here coming up.
Thing is, I think I see Frosty. I think he might have grabbed it.
It couldn't have popped up that quick, right?
I think he did because I just saw him on the ledge, but I might be wrong on that one. We'll go and maybe jump over to his screen a little. But you're probably right on that one, Dave.
Yeah.
In any case, he's in that position. He's in a perfect spot to be able to grab it.
Yeah, we will find out here shortly, but just knowing that player's nearby, I heard those loud footsteps. Lucid somehow going to turn that around with a commando.
Sometimes the plasma pistol and that sound just kind of throws you off a little bit when you have that charge. I couldn't even hear where Lucid ran to.
All right, we got shock rifle in the hands of Formal. Now we got ourselves a tie game as well. So we saw that FaZe were able to pull off a lead with Renegade spree and Renegade getting that shock rifle. Now what are they going to do with this in the hands of Formal? Looks like they're just going to take it right out of his hands. Almost getting that second kill there.
2 down for
SnakeBite
the game.
stopping that shock rifle from being able to get established in any faraway position.
Yeah, this has certainly been a bit of a challenge, Dave, for Optic Gaming to get back into this. They're so close, though, from being able to do so, but Renegade's hitting some shots. Let's actually jump over to the other side of the field, go over to Optic Gaming, and here, listen in with the green wall and see how they're going to fight on this one and come back into this series.
I have smoke. Hold angles, guys. Hold angles.
Go for it. You're good. I'm just gonna try and get
I'm trying to get this, guys.
Where?
He's gonna come up battery. He's gonna come battery.
I don't know.
Batteries.
Cautious sniping. Long haul sniping, Tommy. Long haul above you.
I have camo, guys. I have camo. I'll kill this guy. I'll find this guy.
Yo, weak commando. Roll 2.
You guys on top of me.
Commando weak.
See, sneaky with shock. Sneaky with shock. They're wearing gold too. Yo, Zane is in a great spot. Zane is in a great spot.
You guys in gold.
I'm trying to help you, man. I'm trying to help you.
I got one.
Nice.
Above you, Joey.
Yo, Zane, let's fight long all here. There's a guy bat ledge.
Top at me.
They have a combo on Joey.
All you, Joey.
I'm
We should hit gold. We should hit gold right now, Zane. We should hit gold right now.
Shot top at me.
One here.
You got one me.
Got him. Nice. 2, 3. There's a grapple down top A. There's a grapple down.
I'm back in long all. I think he's in bat ledge or something.
I think they might. Yo, spawn turbine, guys. Spawn turbine.
He has shock and blast. He's big guard.
Where's he going?
Caution. He's just sitting caution in the corner. He's going long haul now. He's still going long with shock.
Yeah, I can't believe there's watching me.
Sneaky right now. Sneaky right now.
Right, you check the shrouds.
Nice spot, man.
Nice.
I'm pushing A, bro.
Wait.
Okay.
I'm coming. Yes, we can. I'm coming.
I'm going bottom A, guys. I'm going bottom A.
All the way out.
Watch out, half ball.
Here, Joey.
Top tower, row 2. Top tower, row 2.
That's the turbine.
Bottom A killed me. Yeah, he killed me. Nice. Get out, Tommy, maybe?
Oh, you
Get out. I think bottom.
Top cat of me.
Trying to get out long.
This guy.
Just like the Jordan Peele movie, you hear him say, "Get out," as he's going near elevator. But you also heard during those comms, you heard how they wanted to hit gold. He said, hey, we're a long haul. There's a distraction over towards elevator/turbine side. Let's hit long or gold right now.
Yeah.
And those are some of those coordinated pushes that players are either going to say, I'm going to help and cross map to try to help my teammates that are over on the opposite fight, or we're just going to roll through and start a brand new fight that the other team is not expecting.
Yeah, and also another thing that I had noticed too is every single time Optic wanted to set up a trap play or something that could maybe get them 2 kills and then they could build some momentum off of that. Someone from FaZe kind of sniffs it out. In that instance, it was Deadzone parked inside of the corner, or actually right where Lucid is right now, and then SnakeBite just peppering him with shots. Had that player who pushed long haul actually committed to that push, actually could have looked way different. That being said though, you still have FaZe with this advantage that they've held on the entire time, Dave, but this camo could be the difference.
Look at this, just being a quick scout. They know Camo's got to be on the outskirts here, but Pipes can be a difficult spot to push in. One nade can change the fight in Pipes, and 3 members of FaZe all stuck in the corner there. What do they do to get out of this? It looks like they just hold the angle together and fight, and nobody from Optic wants to overextend into that battle.
The fact that FaZe in that instance, every player just weak, blinking, and nothing had connected there. You know they're going to be kicking themselves when they go back and watch that VOD later on here. Massive nade's going to stop him.
It's tough, but also the game didn't slow down enough prior to that, so you didn't have all these members of Optic with extra grenades. You'll see when the game slows down more, you'll see all these players from Optic and FaZe go snag extra plasma grenades, grab a pistol, grab a commando. They'll have all that different extra utility.
Yeah, more inventory for sure to work with here, but we didn't make mention before of FaZe's success on this game mode, this map and game mode specifically, so this isn't all that shocking to see from FaZe, but it is impressive how they just continue to keep ahead from Optic Gaming from start to practically finish where we are toward the late game here.
If I'm being honest, I'm thinking through like past games here on Recharge. I just think of so many standoff situations. Back when Renegade was on SSG, you saw so many times where he would just start a fight. He just grapple on in, kill somebody with a shock rifle, and kill all these standoffs. And look at him so far this game. 21 kills in 9 deaths.
Put in some work.
The only member positive right now for FaZe. They are setting him up beautifully.
Well, he wants to get a nice
One thing that's also
play here.
so incredible about Renegade is, as he navigates on these outskirts, he's able to somehow get behind enemy lines, isolate a 1v1, win that 1v1, and rejoin the fight. He also does it very quick. It's not like he's taking the slowest sneaky route and crouch walking. He's a lot of times running around there, so sometimes the opponent has a slight advantage against him in that fight, but he's just so good at winning those fights.
Yeah, he pushes with a lot of confidence, takes fights with a lot of confidence. It's been Renegade's MO since we've first laid eyes on him in the Splice days in H5. The talent that this kid has, unreal. But of course, now the game slows down to a snail's pace here. 4 kills separate, but wait a minute, Frosty has a little bit of an opening here, and he gets himself a nice 2 kills for that one. Royal 2 will pick up the first, and Frosty gets the second. That's gonna put it down to 48. One player tucked in the corner, he was wise to it, and he does get stuck in the end, but that's only gonna be 1 player left alive, and he chases him down with his own grenade, and that is gonna be FaZe Clan getting that second game win, extending their success on Recharge Slayer to 9-0.
Dominating performance there from Renegade. 23 kills, 11 deaths. Leading FaZe there to tie this series up. And I was surprised, you know, the game started off so slow. Usually you see the reverse of that. Game starts off a little bit quicker and then teams slow it down toward the end. FaZe, even though they had the lead, they realized they had numbers advantage and just wanted to end it here and now. They didn't want to wait a minute, let Optic set some sort of miraculous push up and see if they can make some sort of comeback.
I'm also impressed with how Frosty was able to just kind of weasel his way behind enemy lines there, because it really did feel like no one from Optic had any inclination that there was someone on the flank based on how that play turned out.
Yeah, they've just been so sneaky. They just know these setups, and they know the small opportunities they have to get behind these setups.
Yeah.
Just unorthodox routes across the map.
But as you look at the scoreboard at the bottom of the screen there, something that you should take note, at no point in time did FaZe lose that lead. They were in firm control for the entirety of that game, which again, after losing a close one in game one, in Aquarius CTF, Dave, most teams, you know, they'll suffer, they'll struggle in those situations, right? They'll really be like, oh man, we could have taken that, you know. Heck, I even think FaZe would have beaten themselves up at a certain point in time a few events back. But now, dig deep, find where those wins are, and they do just that. Tie it up, 1-1. This is going to be a long series here, man.
It is. We are in for a great one. However, this next game, not going to be a long one. Like I said, it's going to be strongholds on interference. I believe I incorrectly said solitude before, but strongholds on interference.
Yeah.
And this is... honestly, it's a debatable map amongst the top pro teams. They kind of say, hey, it feels like it's a little too snowball. And we are going to see these teams both get their opportunities at getting full setups. And it's very difficult to break out those times when you spawn over at bunker, you spawn over at carbine, and the team gets a triple cap. So expect this one to be probably the most snowballing mode that we'll see here in this event and in the series.
And there you just saw what they're fighting for. The coveted Halo World Championship trophy has been with us since, well, I mean, since the inception of this thing, which is pretty wild to think about. Been talking to a lot of folks here in the venue, doing some podcasts and stuff. 10 years of this, man. 10 years that we've been doing the HCS. So I still remember the email like it was yesterday. It's incredible to see how far this has all come, how far these players have come. You and I were commentating, FaZe Clan, as a matter of fact, you know, winning in 2016, I want to say.
Know each other that long? I feel like we know each other like 2 or 3 years.
Unfortunately, man, I can't get rid of it. Just say, like, Tashi's like, oh, hey, we're going to force you to commentate with Washington. Come on, man, you know? All right, let's do this, baby. Let's jump into game 3.
Let's see what they're going to do off the break here.
Yeah.
Renegade getting behind enemy lines instantly. Getting that pick on TriPPPeY, and he wants to just hold his tower. He didn't realize his player's right next to him, almost gets the ninja. But Lucid gonna get that first slay in favor of Optic. And that's gonna be 2 down apiece. Who's gonna be able to get this OS? Deadzone trying to set up for it, but wants to get this first pick before being the sitting duck over there on the OS platform. Lucid, can he grab it? He does slip over towards Sewer.
There he is, taking all the shots.
But that OS just, you know, traded OS for a clip of Frosty's Bandit. You know, I don't know if it works out so well there.
The math ain't mathin'.
Not the most effective OS, but in the end, not in the hands of FaZe. Lucid able to eventually get towards top tower. See how much they're prioritizing this position.
Yeah, they've been just making sure that
The
they have
only way to really kill someone in tower is throw a grenade or be up in tower yourself. It's really difficult to get some of those finishing angles there. That's why they're prioritizing that spot so hard. It's gonna be all 4 down for a moment here for FaZe. Optic can go for their first trip cap, and they know where the spawns are going to be. They know it's going to be in bunker.
So they're going to make this move happen here.
But at least FaZe now have tower. They're going to break out of A. They have tower for a short bit. As long as FaZe can get tower, this won't be that bad.
Yeah.
But the fact that Optic are somehow able to push it towards tower and engine 2, this could be another round of slays going in favor of Optic. And there goes 3 down. They're blocking bunker. That means spawns. Well, they're going to be over at carbine.
And this is the one you want. Big trip cap here for Optic Gaming. They got a good position. It's going to have to force all these players to have to just go after that B stronghold.
That player's over at B tower, over at Snipe. So able to flip B, didn't spawn over at carbine like Optic and myself were expecting. And so not a full set there from Optic. But here comes another OS in the hands of Optic Gaming. But getting peppered down real quick.
Yeah, the overshield certainly has not been playing much of a factor here, but for Optic, at the very least, you keep it out of the hands of FaZe. That will be your, saving grace there. Not much that you can really take out of that, but in any case, now it's going to be FaZe's turn to strike as they'll get some time here with A and B control.
Yeah, and honestly, not bad position for FaZe at all. Yes, they're down by about 60 points right now, but the fact that Optic had a chance to get a potential trip cap and spawn slay and weren't able to capitalize on that, now it's FaZe's chance to get a few kills, and if they can get their full setup, you can get way more than 60 points.
B starting to get the flip here. World 2's got eyes on Lucid. Formal is in the territory to try and make that flip happen. Big connection with the headshot there. Removes him, and they can stop that cap from happening if they can get a body over there in time. But there's going to be one more member of Optic Gaming in the vicinity to do so, and that's Lucid. And Renegade was wise to that, which is why he was waiting it out to see where that player was, and also just to see if he can get his shields back. But in any case, though, Deadzone with the flip now, you're good to go on this one. If you're Optic, BC control and you continue to gain, you're about to hit that 100-point threshold.
Optic right here are just waiting to see which push FaZe make. Whatever side FaZe pushes out of, expect the other members of Optic to push on the opposite side. So right here, the push is coming through elbow. Expect TriPPPeY and Deadzone to make a push on towards engine.
Frosty's going to make this one very difficult, though, Dave, excuse me, as Deadzone waits this one out. Frosty was looking for where that target was going to be located. There goes the flip. TriPPPeY yet again for Optic Gaming. They've been in control here, man.
So well done there. You saw how Optic saw the push coming over from elbow. Those players that were over at elbow and Hall just stayed alive. They backed down. And then you saw TriPPPeY push all the way towards A, recap A, and give Optic a temporary trip cap.
And FaZe managed to get this overshield. They're in a decent position to grab it, or at least they were for a second, but never mind. It's going to be Formal and Optic yet again who get possession of it. It's going to spell more doom and destruction for FaZe Clan as Formal just marches forward. Even though he's going to tank a few of these shots, you get yourself a nice double for this one. Job well done. And Frosty, though, big kill. Clean up.
Frosty taking it into his own hands, dealing with that overshield. You'll notice at this high level of play, these players are going to look for melee trades. They're going to look to lay down a bunch of shots. They realize that if they don't deal with OS, it's just going to be a problem for all their teammates to deal with. Sometimes at lower levels of matchmaking or lower levels of play, you'll see players just only hightail it away from the OS, saying, I can't win this battle. But at some point, you have to deal with the OS players, and these top teams are opting to deal with it immediately.
Deadzone might have a big play here toward engine side. He backs out, though, for a sec. Renegade around the left corner. He's so weak. The Deadzone has no choice but to take this fight, wait this one out, and wait for his inevitable demise. Renegade, though, won't be able to stay alive long enough to benefit from that. And that's going to actually lead to a double kill for TriPPPeY. So 2 down for FaZe. And I like the way that Optic, they've really just not let up on FaZe at all. And that is exactly what you need to do to establish yourself in this series here and be able to get that second win on the board.
They've had such a good plan, too, when they had 2 strongholds capped. They've tried to set up good setups, good traps, and basically rotate over to get that 3rd stronghold or defend their stronghold. And this one's been playing a little bit different than what we've seen over at something like Salt Lake City, where there's just way more trip caps and teams going on 100-plus point runs. Here, it's been a lot of double caps and a lot of Optic staying in the driver's seat.
Ooh, SnakeBite. That was a little risky of a play there. Tried his best, but wasn't able to stay alive for longer there. And FaZe now looking to cross that 100-point threshold themselves, but as it stands, they will be successful in doing so. You have an overshield up for grabs again. So far, it has been all Optic with power item control on the map. And it looks like that's going to be the same thing again here, unless they take Formal out here by engine side, but they got that overshield yet again.
Is that 5 for 5, I believe?
Yeah.
4 for 4. 4 for 4. But either way, Optic, they knew they just had to hold those players back over towards the A stronghold. And as they cleared out tower, as they cleared out elbow, C was going to fall in their favor. So you didn't see those players from Optic, specifically Formal, decide to charge on over in towards A or charge in towards engine. You realize that he was just trying to block them from getting towards the B nest.
Now an attempt here to get B for FaZe. The members of FaZe trying to keep Deadzone at bay here inside of the loading dock, because if he contributes to that fight to the player on B, it could be very, very difficult for them to capture that. So they are going to be able to get it and start to add some points to the board. Can FaZe Clan get themselves a trip cap of their own?
FaZe got 3 down there from Optic. Expect them to try to flip this for a trip cap. Looks like they spotted Deadzone. Kill him over at the carbine, and they're going to be flipping C, but at the same time, looks like Optic might have a chance to flip A. But this is actually okay. As long as FaZe can hold this top tower, they don't mind Optic getting A for a moment, because they will have the superior position and be able to kill these players over at Bunker and at Engine 2 and go for another trip cap. So let's see when FaZe decide to strike here. Somehow also Optic break out and get
broke out of
nest. That's a bit surprising. As you see right here, they were expecting to keep them contained over here at Bunker and Engine. And Optic wasted no time, rotated out and got B. They realized A was a futile battle. They were not going to win at A fighting against Tower.
smart call, and we've been seeing those smart calls from Optic Gaming. Quick split-second decision-making that honestly netted them the overtime victory in map number 1 here. You see the overshield now going to be coming up again. Is it going to be FaZe's turn to be able to get control of that, or will Optic grab it yet again? And if FaZe manage to do so, maybe they can begin to snowball here. But the problem is, Optic, they're gaining points, and they're gaining fast. But Frosty's got this overshield, and finally FaZe has something, but is it too little too late?
Not too little too late, not on this map and mode. Keep in mind, at any moment, if FaZe get that elusive trip cap full setup, they could carry this one out through the rest of the game. They could easily go on a 110-point run. But the trick is, they gotta get them all 4 down. Right here, TriPPPeY and Lucid both fell. Can they find Deadzone and Formal quick enough? They find Deadzone. Where is Formal, though?
Man, Frosty dealing with a lot of action over here, and that was a big win, actually, a trade.
Kudos to Optic for so many times not getting into all 4 down scenario. They seem to be choosing the right routes to rotate out, get away, and not just get pinned down. So, great plays there by Optic. But Heroes attempt trip cap.
Very quick, very short-lived.
See how they slip out of here. Deadzone getting a nice flank over here towards the hall. Can he kill him over at connector?
He's still alive?
Gets the finish. No, Spike Grenade does not get the finish. This could be 1 down apiece.
Actually, I was talking to Aries earlier. He was telling me how you really primarily want to throw those spike grenades against the wall because of the cone of damage that'll end up doing there, rather than against the floor, where it might not actually do the same amount of damage.
Might not. The spikes don't travel quite as far, don't work quite as well.
The cone of influence. But it's getting down to the wire. Only 5 points remaining. It's up to Renegade here, but he can't do anything about it. You got 3 points left. Is anyone in the vicinity? It ain't gonna happen. Wow. Optic Gaming 1 step closer to fighting for a world championship and the run back against SSG. But they started off that one, Dave, hot from the start. And you mentioned it, right? You were talking about how interference can be snowballing, can sometimes be a detriment to you if you don't get that hot start. And that is exactly what we saw. I think, even though the overshields didn't really play much of a role in that game, I do think it kind of tells.
What do you mean they didn't play a role?
Well, I'm just saying.
You didn't see it directly translate into like them getting a cap or that position or that player.
And what I mean by that is
those kills. That's a fair point there.
Yeah.
But those overshields were massive. They never once allowed FaZe to
but that was going to be my point, right? My point was that even though the overshields, they drained and they got shredded when they picked them up, FaZe never had that, which means FaZe never had map, which means FaZe just struggled to be able to stop Optic every single time those micro objectives were coming up. And then if they're struggling with that, well, it makes sense they were struggling with everything else as well, because Optic had unreal positioning. And really just, you can see even the way they take these fights. They never take the fight with one person. Very rarely would they seek to do that. And 9 times out of 10, they're going in there, they got one person for the initiation, and then they have another person following right behind. It's so well coordinated, and that's why they managed to snowball this one early on.
Yeah, and also the bigger part too there from Optic is just very rarely get in an all 4 down scenario.
Yeah.
They did a great job of buying time, being in separate spots so they couldn't just all get collapsed on at once from FaZe. And never allowed an extended trip cap at all. And it was just, like you said, they were in firm control. It was a interesting game of strongholds and interference. Not the way I expected that to play out.
Not at all, not at all. But here we are, folks. Optic Gaming on series points to make it, to compete for another world championship. Lucid Al
Make it to another finals here.
Lucid Al
You see, he planned to get that OS. He planned to take
time.
those shots. Just part of his humble plan.
It's the hair, definitely. Because, you got Timothy Chalamet with his hair, right? So it makes sense that Lucid's got it.
And also not wasting water. What a nostalgia.
Very efficient. There he is. Shout out, by the way, to the crew who put this event together. From the
Lucid, who do you think is the real hero
squad.
here? Oh, you see that at home?
It's him.
You're the real hero.
You're the real hero?
You fans at home are the real heroes. And fans here, of course.
Say Lucid isn't the best. Draw 25. that is a crappy game of Uno, I'll tell you that much. Oh, man. I think FaZe are looking to make their own Uno reversal happen here. Try and pick up this oddball streets game, and also do want to commend myself for that segue. But, that's just me speaking to myself here, entertaining an audience of one. But As for everyone here in the building, entertained profusely by what we've been seeing so far between Optic Gaming and FaZe Clan. What an excellent series this has been. That guy was feeling it. Oh boy. He's yelling.
No, Optic gotta be feeling good going in here to Oddball though.
Let's,
Oddball on the streets.
Let's do it. Let's do a little survey with the crowd. You guys think Optic gonna go to the finals? What about the FaZe fans? Where the FaZe fans at? Ooh, all right. And no surprise, Optic's got a decent amount of support here.
Want to check on the undecided voters?
I don't talk to them. Oh man, the tension. You could definitely feel it for FaZe, an opportunity for them to defend their championship is on the line, and here we go. If Optic Gaming win this one, it's done, it's dusted. They're moving on to the grand finals. FaZe need to force this game 5, and we talked about this on the desk earlier. If FaZe can make it to that game 5, that is where this series really gets interesting, but they're gonna need to overcome this one first and foremost in order to be able to compete in that game 5 situation.
One thing I've also noticed that's been interesting here from Frosty on streets is every single time he goes towards back pizza and just does jumping shots. He doesn't want to go up that driveway to put himself in a position to take a few shots and get hit by a finishing grenade. So he's been super successful when we've seen that from first person POV, and then almost turn and burns that fight there with the stalker rifle.
That was awesome, by the way. The repulse to throw off the crosshair, the shots, you know, that were doing heavy damage. Everything about that was brilliant, but it is not going to mean all that much as Optic Gaming will get control of the oddball, and they'll get themselves a decent setup over here toward the PD side of the map.
I think right now they just have to realize what information they have. They know there's no one on Neon at the moment, so that means the push is coming in from B and Tires. SnakeBite did such a great job breaking behind enemy lines and getting inside PD, but all for nothing as everyone is down across the map except for Lucid. Lucid gonna grab a few seconds of time and see where these players spawn. Right now, Lucid's just most worried about, can they get a close spawn over on B or at Cafe? And since he saw his teammates spawn over at Cafe, he was looking over towards B.
Formal now ran right into the loving hands of a member of FaZe Clan there, but Lucid will continue to just benefit from time with the ball. Here comes Frosty though for a push. And you can see some of those some kills starting to come through here, and also
to get play ball
coming up. He's got to throw this one out in the middle. Camouflage up for grabs here in a moment. Formal should be able to get the kill against Renegade in the corner, but instead it's going to be a trade. Now Lucid, one shot, is going to be surrounded by members of FaZe Clan. Can't quite stay alive here, but he does so. He really is the boy who lived. It's incredible.
Just doing so much action. He's behind enemy lines here, and he gets 2 different players to one shot. That's Frosty and one other to one shot. So this should buy some openings across the map here for Optic to push out. We got wonder, do you feel like TriPPPeY's playing a little too passive there? But it looks like the reason for his passivity was he wanted that camo. Snags this power up. Coach Lunchbox and Optic been doing a great job on top of those over shields and camos.
Yeah, it really has been the name of the game for Optic, and it's hard to win these closely contested matches between evenly matched teams like this when you're not being able to pick up those power items, when you're not able to get that map control efficiently. And for FaZe, who have been so great on the Slay and have just really made their presence felt that way, kind of shocking to see them really just struggle to be able to get any kind of control when those moments happen.
Another great setup here coming out of Optic. They bring the ball back towards A. It seems like they, I wouldn't say favor the side, but it seems like it's been the side that's been open to them. We have yet to really see Optic ever be over at Tram side of the map yet.
The oddball likes to be over toward the PD side. Might like the safety and security. I don't know. This should be a clean connection there. So you'll remove that player from it, and here comes the tram run.
Yep, this is what happens when you spread out across these lanes across the map. You basically have people watching over towards B side and then Neon and Cafe side with ball sitting in the center. And you start to find out, all right, we're not seeing anyone here on B side. Get ready to rotate in this direction. And then as soon as they get a kill, it's go, 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 because you know that FaZe aren't gonna overload all 4 players in one spot. Instead, they're gonna do a scattered push across the map. And so they can get the 1 kill on B side, charge through if there's anyone else, get that kill, and outrun the other members of FaZe, forcing them to either charge across the center of the map into tires or be out-rotated by the ball. And because of that, we have a 72-point lead here for Optic Gaming in round 1.
Oh, big win for SnakeBite.
That was nasty.
Yeah, he needed that win big time, so maybe they could work with this. They only have a few seconds to work with, and now you have to be perfect, and you have to charge. You have no other choice here, or else this round's gonna go to Optic.
And you know, SnakeBite's hoping another teammate could get in there a little quicker, but they end up getting the stop. All that matters is that they get the stop and get a full setup. So now FaZe putting themselves in a corner, making it do or die. It's really tough to get a proper, play ball here on streets, especially when the team only is 6 points away. Yes, you can stop them from getting a full setup, but Optic's not in a spot where they need a full setup. They need 6 points.
Yeah, that's all, and right now Optic's stuck in the subway. You're gonna have to pay for a Metro card to get out of it.
Just jump the rail, man. Get out of there.
Wow, look at you, criminal Dave. Didn't expect that. You're 42 as well.
But think about how much money I've saved over the years.
Fair point, fair point. Big brain plays from Walsh.
All the good Halo and illegal life tips you'd like on one broadcast.
94-42. FaZe has done a great job trying to bring themselves back into this, but they cannot make a single mistake. If they do, that's it. The round is done. I mean, look, is there an opportunity? Maybe they play ball, as you had mentioned before. Could they maybe stop them, get 1 second or two for sure? But it is going to be so risky and so difficult against Optic. Oh, I like this play.
I like that shroud. Felt like it came out a little late. But either way, SnakeBite gets shrouded, and here comes the defense. They have to get these kills. There's really no other way around it. Somehow gets the triple kill. Formal's only one left in PD. Gonna get flanked by Royal 2, and Formal's desperately trying to finish off that ball carrier. Doesn't get it. Now we're actually within striking distance. FaZe, only 30 points away from winning this round. They really just need one more round of slays here against Optic.
Gotta be careful. That camo's up, and it was grabbed instantly. But it was SnakeBite in the grab.
FaZe not just grabbing this ball just yet. They realize this comes down to the kills. There they get a slay here.
I think they gotta pick it up.
That's gonna be 2 down. Players from Optic spawning.
Oh, wait, that's Lucid.
POV.
Never mind. Okay, actually,
That's different POV.
I was about to say, no
Confused
shot.
me for a second.
Sorry about that, folks, but we'll make sure we get that sorted out. In any case, that was Lucid who ended up grabbing that camo, but could not really get in there. And I know we were freaking out for a minute. So like, why is he shooting World 2?
Is there some inner team drama we don't know about yet?
Not yet, though.
Ooh, 2 down there for Optic.
Yep.
Deadzone behind enemy lines. Him and Lucid are gonna be a tandem pair here, trying to get the slays. In fact, they might get this kill and then run towards PD for the last few seconds. This one's gonna be a difficult decision here, but Deadzone and Lucid buying time. Can they live here? They somehow clear all these members. This is gonna be grabbing these last few seconds. They run in towards PD. Nobody from FaZe in position to get this kill. And Deadzone gonna grab those last 2 points, and round 1 going to Optic as they breathe a sigh of relief, because that got scary at the end.
That really did. There was a point in time where Optic was just outslaying FaZe heavily in that one too. They come back within 2 frags for FaZe Clan, or excuse me, for Optic Gaming, 39-37. So goes to show you FaZe really turning things around. And honestly, even when I look at the scoreboard there, I'm seeing Renegade doing some work on the assist category. I know he's usually the main slayer. You usually see him doing a lot of a lot of damage in the stats rather. But this time around, he's putting in a ton of support.
Just trying to fish over at the ATMs, gets that first pick, second player weak, and all these members at FaZe stuck at Tram again. It felt like that whole last first round, felt like whatever team was spawning Tram was losing.
That's actually a really good point. And as we see things flip around this time around, they're going to go for the Tram hold Optic Gaming. Last time it was that PD hold that they were finding a ton of success with. Now they bring it back over to the opposite side of the map and mix things up a bit.
Optic showing their versatility. They're not just going to force one specific setup here. They're going to take what's given to them. And there goes 3 down again. Royal 2, they want alive. I would expect Royal 2 to wait for his teammates to spawn here before he tries to force a push. And yes, he's gonna keep up a little extra ground. It looks like he found a fight, and unfortunately, Royal 2 gets picked off. This is now a staggered spawn, and this puts the other members of FaZe in a difficult spot. You see this extra pressure coming in from Optic, because they're basically forcing FaZe to get another staggered spawn, or force them to try to make a weird push across these stairs.
Yeah, and actually, Royal 2, you can see him on the flank looking to make a play, and there's just nowhere really for FaZe that will go, that they can get to Optic without being peppered with a few shots or being met by another member of Optic, because they've just been doing such a brilliant job of holding hands and protecting each other. And Renegade's in no man's land by himself in a fight here, but he should have his teammates in a moment. Massive grenade explosion. It's going to remove that player from the equation. That was Deadzone. He's got to bring this ball back over to the PD.
tosses that ball towards Flowers. What is Frosty gonna do? I feel like Slay is the play here in this situation. Just too chaotic. Renegade's already fallen. 2 players here on B Street. Frosty runs into a 1v2, doesn't wait for the death, and TriPPPeY goes out towards caution.
Remember, folks, Optic Gaming, they got that first
Look
round.
at that perfect bait there.
I know, it's so brilliantly
Deadzone
done.
grabs that ball. Optic are just too good at rotating that ball that you're rarely gonna ever catch that ball carrier off guard. And those are the kills you dream of. You dream of that ball carrier soaking up that damage like a tank, and then somebody else getting that free kill, and they're free to slay.
Optic Gaming about to cross the 50-point line here. 50 more to go, and they'll be making their way to the grand finals of the Halo World Championship 2024 to run it back against SSG. It's been Optic and SSG all year long, but FaZe wants to get involved in the conversation as well. They're gonna have to do it now. At some point, you gotta get into that tram. You have to remove those players from the subway. Otherwise, this is going to end very quickly. And Optic have been great on these rotations as well, Dave. The moment that there's some pressure from Neon, you got someone going over to the driveway. They're just kind of seesawing back and forth.
Just look at this up. They've now recognized there's 3 players towards E Street. Optic is actually going to be not possible to rotate this towards Neon. So expect them to either toss us off balcony or just turtle up in the back of tram.
Opportunity now here for FaZe Clan. As SnakeBite right behind enemy lines here. Might actually be able to get a backpack. Actually will shoot the guy at the top of his head. Knowing he was one shot, they'll hold tram, but they don't really have an angle to go after that ball. It's right out in the middle of that ATM area.
There by Optic, because throughout this time, FaZe had a big numbers advantage. They got those couple picks. They pushed in towards tram.
Yeah.
But they're not able to get those kills and actually get ball. In fact, ball's basically played over near ATM. So huge win there by Optic during that exchange.
And Optic are.
In fact, ball goes untouched for 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're fine with that. Time drains down. You got a sizable lead that you got to come back into, and you know that even though FaZe were able to do it last time, well, kind of last time, almost last time, you want to be able to just use this lead to your advantage and put that pressure onto FaZe and let the 5th or 6th man, if you of course count Coach Lunchbox on the field, the time, the clock, to be a part of the team for a little while.
You know, Renegade's got to be frustrated there. Getting spotted out with that camo, trying to be that player gets near the ball. And like you said right now, they are playing that time bit. In fact, all 4 down, they're going to go for the closure here. They're going to first revert back. In fact, Renegade, though, got a great spawn, but the position has been given up. He shot with the stock rifle over towards top tram, and there's that driveway. But right now, they have too much ground to cross. They have to fly, and they cannot be cautious here. They're not going to be able to fight TriPPPeY.
You got to take the fight.
5 points away here for Optic. Did ball carrier go down?
I believe
Because I don't know why they're not holding that. Yeah, ball carrier must have gotten picked off there, running up that C stairs. So huge stop there by FaZe, but
Deja vu.
It is deja vu. 6 points away for Optic. They just need one mistake here from FaZe. 1 round of slays, and Optic are going to punch their ticket inside tram. Even though I think you should jump the rails and go all the way to the grand finals.
This could very well be it. They got the ball. Optic Gaming's got the ball. 3 seconds remaining, and no one's in the vicinity to stop them, and that's going to do it. Optic Gaming are going to the grand finals. They sent home the 2023 World Champions in FaZe Clan, and now we're getting a run back in the grand finals between Optic Gaming and Space Station Gaming. It could only truly end this way, Dave, considering how the season has gone for Optic. But is this it? Is this the time where they can finally just win?
Just break through.
Break through, bro. Like,
I mean, honestly, and not that you get to decide this, but like, if you're in their shoes and you had to say, hey, would you rather win 3 regular season events or win World Finals?
Yeah.
And I think you take World Finals any day of the week.
World Championship right there. Optic are going to stay on that stage, but they'll get a little bit of a break. But boy, oh boy, and of course, commiserations for FaZe Clan, an incredible season for them as well. Ups and downs across the board, but I think one thing that we have seen about this squad is that even when you think, oh, they're struggling in this area, they're struggling in that area, it really just boils down to the amount of work that SnakeBite and the rest of the boys on FaZe Clan put in. It showed in this event, but this time around, Optic had the recipe, they had the solution, and they were able to win 3-1.
Yeah, Optic just looking so strong and honestly icing up. There's been a lot of times where we've had some questions around, can Optic win those crucial games, those matches, those coin flips? And I feel like a lot of times, especially against SSG, they're not winning those ones. But can this event be the one? I cannot see.
Oh boy, well, you can see everyone now getting ready. They're getting their bathroom, their bathroom break, their food break, all that good stuff. And let me see, is Blaze ready to go up on the stage? I think he is. So folks, that's gonna do it for us here today. I just wanna say, freaking love the Halo community. I love you guys. Thank you, Dave, for being and tolerating me. It's been an absolute blast to be back for these last 2 events, so thank you so much. But for now, let's send it over to the icon. It's got Blaze at the stage.